Okay, you can put the guy through.
All right, here we go.
Alrighty.
Hello.
Hello?
Jimmy Page.
Bill Carlo. Wrong, Tom.
Oh, sorry.
All right, mate, I've got Jimmy here sitting here.
All right.
Are you going to call us back, or how do we do this?
We can do this now if you so desire.
Okay, so I'll just hand you over to Jim and that's it then, is it?
That'd be great.
All right, Tom, maybe see you at the weekend.
I hope so.
It's Jimmy.
Thanks.
Hello?
Jimmy Page.
Yes, indeed, the very man, yes.
The incredible Jimmy Page, God, guitar hero,
Well,
thrash monster. How you doing?
I'm all right, man. Fine.
Excellent to talk to you. We are extremely excited about the fact that you've got a show coming tomorrow night to the Fabulous Forum here in Los Angeles.
Me too.
How's the tour going?
Oh, it's been brilliant. I mean, it couldn't have been... it was much better than I ever hoped it was ever going to be as far as the crowd response. Brilliant.
Really? What, had you thought maybe people had forgotten you?
No, I didn't think that.
That's good.
I knew that wasn't the case because even if I haven't been here, I seem to have been contemporary anyway as far as, their music has been still played, one way or the other via the originals or whatever.
Absolutely. The Led Zeppelin music will not go away from the radio, of course, and we've seen a rash of bands who obviously have been influenced by Led Zeppelin coming out just in the last few years. So,
sure. So consequently, I knew that, as you put it, I wasn't going to be forgotten. Now, the main thing was that I had such a catalogue of material to include in the set. When you think, I played with the Yardbirds, with Zeppelin, with The Firm. I did a soundtrack album, plus the Outrider album. And putting all this together and hoping that getting the balance right, the pacing of it, because obviously there's a lot of light and shade within a set like this. It goes from really heavy rock to, the sort of ballads and stuff. And that was the overall thing, the pacing of it, and the content, the overall balance between all of that those eras, so to speak, and it's worked really great,
That's tremendous to hear. I would think it would be an incredible challenge, Jimmy, to have all of that material and try to decide what's going to make it into the show, what isn't.
Absolutely, that's it. You want to make sure that. Well, I wanted to make sure that that I was going to be obviously playing the sort of guitar which I pioneered, all the different guitar styles, like the bow and then the acoustic-styled Arabic stuff as well, and the rock and roll and the blues and you name it, it's there. But, that basically is hand in hand. This is why the tour is, like an Outrider tour. It's relative to going back to the roots like the album,
Absolutely. So you get an opportunity in the tour to play both electric and acoustic.
Well, acoustic, yes, I do play acoustic as well, actually, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I do play acoustic as well in the set.
Great. Anything you can tease us with?
Pardon?
Can you tell us a little about what might be appearing?
Well, as I say, there's a healthy chunk of Led Zeppelin in there.
Okay.
I've apart from one number, one Led Zeppelin number, the rest of them are rearranged. So they have, they're recognisable. It's not as though I've changed the arrangements totally, but there's a few surprises in them.
Great.
Yeah, just so people think, well, he has thought about these numbers. He's not just playing them, just because he's, as they originally were. So I've worked on the numbers. Yes, I've put a lot of work into this set, and as I say, the response to it has been fabulous.
How's the band?
Enjoying myself. I think you can probably tell that. That's the main thing. I'm really enjoying doing it.
Well, that's the most important thing, is that you do enjoy what you're playing to the audience.
Yeah, I think that obviously that comes across. And it's every concert we've had so far has been fabulous. Really rewarding. I tell you.
Great. Now you've had a chance to play with some really great musicians throughout your career, not just the guys in Led Zeppelin, of course, but with the people in the Yardbirds and many of the session work that you did, much of the session work you did, you played with fine musicians, and of course through the Firm, and now the band, the Outrider band. How do those guys hold up?
Oh, brilliantly. I've just got the one vocalist with me, John Miles, but everyone is saying that, I think he's one of the main surprises of the whole band, that the way that he handles all of these songs, because obviously, as we're saying, we're going through quite a lot of different eras here, and all the reports, and I'm talking about published, reports of reviews, so to speak. They've all said how brilliantly he's handling everything.
That's great.
And well, I think so too. I think he's a phenomenal singer.
Mm-hmm.
Range is brilliant, you see.
Everyone knows that Jason Bonham, of course, is John Bonham's son, and he had a chance to play on the Led Zeppelin reunion at the Atlantic Records
Yeah.
40th bash, and I thought he held up quite nicely. And obviously, he hanging out with you guys when he was growing up had a chance to know the material. What about your bass player? Now, this is a name that I don't think a lot of people know who Durbin Well,
Durbin Laverdi is a session player. He's a session player basically in England.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he's done a few tours and things with people, but you know, basically that's what he's been is a studio musician.
Okay.
Of course, you know, Jason was on the album right from the sort of very first riff that was played, you know. So he's been with me all the way through the album. And however, even though the four of us were are on the album, so to speak, because Durbin was also the bass player on the album, there wasn't one actual track where the four of us played together. So it's been really great to see how all of this has come together once we've used it as a band unit, you know.
Right, now you're getting a chance to play the material live as a band.
I've had a good chance to play it now. I've already finished the first part of the tour, which started off in Atlanta and finished in New Orleans. And in fact, you know, we've had just about 8 days, 10 days off, and now we're ready to start, you know, hitting the West Coast, okay?
All right. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you Friday night. I'd like to ask, with the tour wrapping up, once you're done, are you going to go back into the studio? And if so, are you going to use some of the same players that you've got on the tour in the Outrider band?
Well, I'll tell you, when we finished up, and it's around mid-November, we finish up in New York. We're going back back to England, and we're going to do just a few dates in England itself. And then, yes, quite rightly, then I'm going to start working on the second album, but I've got a totally different concept for that, obviously, than what the first one. The first one was, as I say, this is my solo career, and I'd like to sort of start off by going back to the roots. The next one will be a totally different concept. Yes, it's quite probable that I will be using some of the members of the band.
Okay, at one time the record was going to be a 2-record set, and including a variety of material, just like you have on the single disc. Was there a particular reason why it didn't end up as a 2-record set? Yeah.
The reason was because, well, as I mentioned before, even though this band that I'm touring with now, they're all on the album, there wasn't any one track that they all appeared on together, right? Mm-hmm. In the studio at the same time. The way that I was doing this album was actually making it up on the spot in the studio, and then, you know, with say the rhythm section, and as I say, there were different bass players on this, and the drums, and there were 2 drummers also on it. But and then after that, then I'd start orchestrating orchestrating the track with guitars, and then bring in the vocalist if it was going to be a vocal number. Now, as you can imagine, that really works out to probably about maybe 10% of the others, and then 90% of my input into it, and it was just becoming too much to actually do that. Of course, if you're working with a band in the studio, it's a lot easier, because if you're not feeling up to doing that much that day, you can say to someone else, "Oh, well, look, you know, put your part on or sing a bit or whatever," you know.
Right.
So it was just too much to take on, you know, to be honest. So I actually recorded enough to make a double album. There's other tracks which haven't come out, but you know, I think for the overall idea of what I was trying to do, I think it was better condensed into the single album.
Yeah, it's a very interesting record. A lot of styles on it, and you know, you get a chance to hear Robert Plant singing with you on the the Only One, and then you hear some real good instrumental stuff. You hear some great blues work. You know, working with Benny King. I mean, that must have been a thrill for you.
So Benny King? No, it wasn't Benny. No, it's John Paul Jones that worked with Benny King. No,
he's not. Isn't he singing on the record?
No, Chris Farlow.
Oh.
Chris Farlow,
My mistake. I apologize for that.
Don't worry.
I thought he was singing on Hummingbird.
No, that's Chris Farlow.
Okay.
He's an English cat, you know.
Yeah, well, he's got a great sound, just like those guys. You know,
great
interpretation of the blues.
He's a really good white blues singer. I've always believed that. You know, he goes back a while, but you know, so do a lot of good blues singers.
Sure. Well, I know the name.
Yeah.
I feel kind of stupid that I didn't pick up on the fact that he wasn't the guy singing on the track. You did some soundtrack work for Charles Bronson's movie Death Wish 3. Any plans to do any more soundtrack work?
No, let me explain. I did the soundtrack work for Death Wish 2.
Or Death Wish 2, yeah.
And then well, what happened was I went to see the the film Michael Winner's House. This was with, just in black and white basically at that point. This is Death Wish 2. And where he wanted me to put the musical sections on, he put the music from Death Wish 1, which was Herbie Hancock's, just so I get an idea of, where he wanted the music.
Right.
So, of course, I went away, finished the project, gave it to him, the film came out. When he made Death Wish 3, he I don't know who he had in mind to do the actual soundtrack, but he applied the same method. He put the musical sections in to where he wanted to, the person to supply music. He was using the music from Death Wish 2 onto Death Wish 3, and he called me up and said, look, this is amazing, you must come and see this and listen to it. He said, it just works so good, can I use it again?
Mm-hmm.
So in fact, he used the same music twice,
So some of the music that you did
for Death Wish 2, it was on
did show up on Death Wish 3.
Yeah, so, that was a great compliment, I thought, as far as the...
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of reports have been in the news lately about your house, Jimmy, and people, the occult freaks that tend to kind of get on your property and bother you. And we, it's well known that the house that you have near Loch Ness was once owned by Aleister Crowley, and is it becoming a problem that you just really wish would go away if these people would leave you alone, or how do you deal with it?
The problem that I wish would go away is the press, because apparently I've been saying this, that, and the other. It was in a Sunday newspaper. Well, the fact is, I don't know how I could have said it, because I've been over here on tour.
Yeah. So you weren't even quoted properly.
No, I've never said a word. I've never said a word about anything to do with that.
Well,
I mean, it's just it's just the usual sort of tabloid press, trying to create sensationalism. Unfortunately, it's travelled the Atlantic and it's over here.
Well, I'm glad we've had an opportunity to set the record straight. I need you to hold for just a second, Jimmy, because I'm on the air here and I'm going to do a stop sign. Is that okay? And then we can continue?
All right.
All right, hang on. Pure Rock 105.5 KNAC. Oh, my God, a big healthy dose of Pure Rock there. The Blitzkrieg rolled strong. That's live Kiss, of course. And let me go. Rock and roll, all right? Breaking the Chains from Doc and Call of the Wild from Circus of Powers. We also had Scorpions, April Wine, Ted Nugent, Cinderella, Led Zeppelin, yes, with Kashmir, of course, and Feel the Shake, the new one from Jet Boy. Mad Marshall with you. We'll be giving you more chances to win Jimmy Page tickets later on today, and we might even be chatting with Jimmy, so I want you to hang for that. Okay, you still there?
Yeah, yeah.
Great. It's kind of weird because originally I had planned to tape this in the production room, but my midday guy got sick, so I'm like pinch hitting here on the air. But that's fine because we're getting a good interview here anyway. Covered pretty much everything I wanted to talk about. Is there anything that you'd like to say to people in Southern California in general, or to the KNAC listeners in particular, since we kind of play hard rock all the time and really kind of carry the flag for players like you?
Well, I mean, obviously at this point, I'm really looking forward to coming and playing the concerts there on the West Coast with my own band, which is the first time I've done, and it's the first time that I've done that because I've always been part of something else. This time, it's my full responsibility, and I'm really pleased with it.
Uh-huh.
That's the main message at this point, because I know everyone who comes is going to have a good time as much as we're having a good time.
Well, I'm sure we will, and we're certainly looking forward to seeing you play for us at the Forum. I know it's going to be a fabulous show, and we're really looking forward to seeing you take us through a musical history that is rich in heritage and quality.
Well, it'll be past, present, and future. That's the idea of it.
Fabulous.
Okay.
Well, Jimmy, thanks for calling so much. I really appreciate it. We're going to put some of this on the radio and put some of it maybe in a little feature that we do, and we'll certainly see you tomorrow night at the Forum. I think it's going to be a great show.
All right. Okay.
Thanks again for calling.
Okay, no problem. Bye-bye.
And take care. Bye-bye.
Today, Bobby Boogaloo Schwartz, Stevie Lucero, Alan Crazy Christian, also back from Europe, Rob Fetching, and all the rest.
Yeah.
Each is determined
called
to be
early.
number one on this one special night. And you can get your tickets now at Ticketmaster or this Saturday at the gate. The 1988 Coors United States National Speedway Championship. The gates will open at 6:30. First race at 8 p.m. Get the Newport 55 from the south until it ends in the city of Costa Mesa.
I got Ramble On like next hour.
National Championship is started on just
Okay.
one night. If you're a racing fan, be a part of the Coors United States National Speedway Championship this Saturday night, Orange County Fairgrounds.
Picture yourself sitting at home with nothing to do, nowhere to go. The phone's ringing, but you won't answer it. Probably another raging beauty asking for a ride to the beach. No, you'll just sit at home until the skin on your butt grafts with the upholstery on the couch. And you know why? Because the cops took away your license and a nice chunk of your summer fun money for driving around without liability insurance. Does it have to come to this? Of course not. You can call Fast Start Insurance right now and get a free quote. You'll be amazed at how cheap it is to get your car insured through Fast Start. Call them. Call them. They don't care if you drive a 4x, a muscle car, a sports car, a Heap. They don't care if there's an APB out on you right now. You still need liability insurance on your car. It's the law. Here's the number. In the 213, call Fast Start at 207-1292. Or in Orange County, call 545-4104. Get up off the couch if you can. Use a spatula. Call Fast Start. They're open till 8. You need to do this. Fast Start, 213-207-1292. Or 714-545-4104.